is brought to you by the world of DVC Resale Market, where you can buy and sell a DVC contract, Winera Financial that can help you finance that DVC contract, and the DVC rental store where you can try before you buy or rent out your own points.
Bright suns, everybody. Here we are on Batuu. I'm wandering around doing my thing, and you never know who you're going to run into when you're off planet. I got this Ewok-looking fella here.
Jeff has plans for these videos, so I don't know if this is a my mom thing or an Italian thing, but I laughed when I saw moof juice, because my mother would always say if something went bad, it was moof. Like if you see mold on bread, it went moof. So I think moof juice is funny. Please tell me in the comments, is that an Italian? Has anybody ever heard that? Or is it my mom making stuff up that I think is life lessons?
So, one thing we can't do if we're covering Star Wars Land, Galaxy's Edge, is not eat at Docking Bay 7. However, we just got our food, and both Panda and I are really disappointed. They changed the chicken, the tip-yip chicken, which has always been our favorite. I don't know, this doesn't look good to me at all.
It looks like you're gonna have a hard time finding meat. Looks like you're gonna have to search for the meat instead of having a nice chicken breast. Why?
Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna have to see. Andorian fried chicken tip-yip, $16.29.
It's not worth $16.29 at all. But it's not as bad as we originally thought. We still can't figure out what's going on. I thought this was a bone, but no, that's a chicken breast.
Maybe they just made it look Star Warsy. I will say this, the macaroni and cheese is actually, for fast food mac and cheese,
It's good.
it's decent. Decent. What is your favorite Star Wars memory?
Favorite Star Wars memory? Oh, that's hard. I will say one of my favorite experiences, like related to Star Wars, was actually early on when Galaxy's Edge opened, and I saw Chewbacca just randomly walking around Galaxy's Edge. That's like one of those things that you don't expect to see happening sometimes in a theme park, and it was kind of like, oh, this is cool. Okay. Like seeing walking characters, like entering their world, so to say, that makes it extra special.
Favorite Star Wars memory? Okay, this is a weird one. My favorite Star Wars memory is actually in college. My freshman year at the University of Texas in Austin, I took, what was it called? Film score appreciation or something. And one of the first movies we watched was actually The Force Awakens, which was like the newer one at the time. And so it was like a Wednesday night, we would go and watch the movies in a big auditorium with the whole class, and we would go through the whole score and write like an essay about it or something. So that was a really cool like dissection of the music, because I'm someone who's always liked the music of the movies, but not a family memory, which is kind of sad, but it was still fun.
All right. Okay. My uncle actually made us watch Star Wars when I was younger, and the only thing I really remember from that was when Anakin, he's the one that becomes Darth Vader, right?
Good, yeah.
When he was like on fire, dying. That's what I remember. It's not my favorite memory. It's just like my most.
You should sleep with one eye open, I feel like. I don't know. Star Wars memory.
Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't know. I have no idea what you were going to ask. But I'm about 6 years old, and I'm in the theater watching the first Star Wars. And I don't know if I wasn't quiet or anything, but they fed me more popcorn than humanly possible, and I puked everywhere. But I do remember enjoying it, especially the dun 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 dun, dun, if I'm even getting it right. The bar scene. I remember as a kid. Do you know what year it came out?
77.
Okay, yeah, I was 6 years old.
Yeah, it came out the year I was born.
That is my first Star Wars movie, and I knew it was a big deal.
So I have a lot of Star Wars memories because it's kind of paralleled my whole life. It came out the year I was born, and there's a lot of things that my dad and I did together related to Star Wars and that I did with my kids, but two real memories kind of stick out. My first one was, it was Christmas shortly after my parents got divorced, and I woke up Christmas morning and I had every Star Wars toy I unwrapped under the tree. I had all the ships, all the action figures, the Ewok village. I had all of it. And I think it was still my favorite Christmas ever, even as a grown man. But really the one that kind of sticks out even more so is there was a time my mom actually was really sick in the hospital, and we were trying to decide whether to still continue to do it or not. But my sons and I, both of my kids and I, had tickets to opening weekend at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland. And it was kind of like the perfect 3-day break from all the drama that we had going on with my mom being really sick and the stress that was coming with that we just got to go, just the three of us guys. We built droids, we rode the rides, we just had an epic weekend together. And I'll just never forget it because it was kind of that release that we needed.
So my favorite Star Wars memory has to be back after Empire Strikes Back came out in 1980. Remember, I'm old. I remember every Sunday after church around that time, my parents would drive my brother and I to Toys R Us, where we got to pick out one new Kenner action figure each week. I wound up with like a ton over the years, and I played with them constantly. And then, of course, I wound up selling them in garage sales over the years for like a quarter each, and I still kick myself for doing that.
Admit it. I do remember walking into Batuu the first time in Hollywood Studios and seeing the size of the Millennium Falcon and being pretty impressed at the detail.
Very cool.
So
in 1999, being a wee lad growing up in Michigan, Episode 1 came out, right? Phantom Menace.
Mm-hmm.
So Pepsi released 24 cans.
I remember that.
Pepsi, Diet Pepsi, Mountain Dew, and one more.
I think it was Diet Mountain Dew.
Maybe. Someone fact check me. So what I did was I wanted all of them and to keep them intact. So I went around to my friends' graduation parties and I would dig through and try and find every can.
Did you get them all?
I got them all, and I even bought the gold Yoda one off eBay.
Do you still have them?
No, they all got crushed one day, and one of them leaked because I didn't get all the pop out of it, so it leaked through and ruined like this shelf in my parents' house.
Favorite Star Wars memory? I'm not a huge Star Wars person. I think I've watched each of the movies maybe at least once. But I do remember growing up, I have 4 brothers, and all of them had Star Wars bed sheets. That's all I got.
Memory.
So Star Wars was the first movie that I actually remember watching. I wasn't born when it came out in '77, but they used to play it all the time in like drive-in movie theaters and back from New Jersey where I'm from. And so my parents took us to see Star Wars, and that's the first movie I remember watching at like 3 or 4 years old or something like that. And so ever since then I was hooked on Star Wars from A New Hope.
And who is your favorite Star Wars character?
Any Ewok. Any single one of them. They are all lovable, and I want to cuddle with every single one of them. Maybe Spoon, whatever.
Chewy. Yeah.
Can you do the voice?
No. I can roll my tongue, but I can't do it like Jeff does it.
You know, I think it's Delicious Crumb. We were just mentioning, for some reason, it's just a stupid name. Salicious, not delicious, Crumb. And he's on the side of Jabba, and he's obviously a puppet, and I just loved him as a kid. I remember, and I always wanted the shoulder one. And why Salicious Crumb? I don't know.
So, favorite Star Wars character has to be Darth Maul from The Phantom Menace. Not only is that double lightsaber thing amazing, the entire Duel of the Fates, one of the best sequences in not just Star Wars history, but movie history. And not to mention, it literally is the only good thing about the movie The Phantom Menace.
I know, I'm trying to think. It's equal parts Boba Fett and Han Solo. I can't decide. Today it's Boba Fett because that's the shirt I'm wearing. But I also like Han a lot. So it kind of depends on if I'm in a good mood or a bad mood on any particular day.
There's way too many, but not that are my favorite, but probably Rey. maybe just because she's cute and cool and I like her outfit.
I guess, is it bad to say Mando or what's his name, Din Djarin?
No.
Just because Pedro Pascal's really cute. So I think that's kind of the way I gotta go. And he's newer. I think that he's a really cool character. So yeah, might be my favorite.
Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Oh, Chewie.
That was beautiful. And I know you're not a big Star Wars fan, but do you have a favorite Star Wars character that you gravitate to?
I don't.
That's okay.
I'm sorry, I don't.
And then, those of you that don't know, DVC Dan is our Hidden Mickey connoisseur, as it were.
Sure.
Do you have any Star Wars Hidden Mickeys you can share? Are there any Star Wars Hidden Mickeys in Batuu or Star Tours?
There's actually two.
Okay.
There is one that is in the queue of Smuggler's Run. Am I telling where it is?
Yeah.
So as right before you get into the ship, there is a TV on the side. Look on the right of it. It is a classic Hidden Mickey 3 circles.
Perfect.
And then the other one is the miniature Millennium Falcon under the Millennium Falcon. It's pretty hard to spot. So if you know, you know. But that's super cool.
Perfect.
So I'd say Boba Fett is my favorite character. I have a lot of characters that I really like, but definitely Boba Fett, I think.
And what is your favorite Star Wars thing to do in the park?
I will say the ride that does not get old for me is Star Tours. I would ride that over any of the rides in Galaxy's Edge, and maybe you'll hate me for that, but it blows me away how relevant that ride has stayed for as long as it has been open.
Drink blue milk.
Oh, that's a good answer.
I like the blue milk. That's my favorite thing.
All right, so favorite Star Wars thing to do in a Disney park? Easy. Star Tours at Hollywood Studios. Done. Best and quickest way to get a good, quick, fun Star Wars fix. See some classic characters like R2-D2, C-3PO when you're in the queue and you never know which scene you're going to get. And bonus, there's never a long line. Star Tours, better than Smuggler's Run. It is.
Probably. I just really like Rise. I think that's the most immersive Star Wars ride there is. The other guys aren't wrong about Star Tours, but it's so random that sometimes you don't get the good ones. You only get the crappy ones. And as long as everything's working on Rise, I still think that one's my favorite.
Okay, so Rise of the Resistance for me is a love-hate relationship because I think I'd pick that, but I can't because most of the time something important is not working and that makes me mad. If it's all working, it's Rise. Otherwise, I like the Millennium Falcon ride. I think it's pretty cool. I enjoy it from start to finish.
I guess ride Rise of Resistance.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Here's a real question, because Jeff is also a Lego guy like me. Do you have any Star Wars Legos?
No.
So last year we went to May the 4th and got to witness all the lightsabers. That was pretty cool. I will admit that was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. It was busy and it was crowded, but just seeing kind of the camaraderie of everybody there was pretty cool.
I think the thing I've done the most is Rise of the Resistance. It's one thing we normally do anytime we go there. Not being a huge Star Wars nerd, there's something about walking out into that big room with all the stormtroopers. I don't think you have to love Star Wars to appreciate how cool that is. I also feel like that ride is so many different types of rides all packed into the same ride, and it's pretty long, so you kind of are getting a really full, big, cool experience.
Oh, that's tough. Sometimes just walking around Galaxy's Edge and kind of like, taking it all in. It's kind of awesome just to like listen to the sounds and hear, X-Wings and TIE fighters fly overhead and stuff like that. But riding Rise of the Resistance also is awesome. But yeah, just kind of like walking around and taking in the Star Wars atmosphere in Galaxy's Edge, I think.
I really like the Ronto wrap, not gonna lie. We've now got the breakfast Ronto wrap before and the regular one. It's a really nice treat in the park, so that might be my favorite thing to do is just come here and eat.
Cool. So we're trying to hit everything on this Star Wars adventure. Grayson and I are eating at Ronto Roasters, which I don't eat here very often because I'm not a big sausage fan, but they have a breakfast menu as well, and I went with the Rising Moon's Overnight Oats, which is oats, dragon fruit, yogurt, and seasonal fruit. It looks like there's some boba balls in there. It looks fun. I don't know, it looks a little crazy. Grayson went with the Bronto morning wrap, which is eggs, grilled pork, sausage, shredded cheddar, and peppercorn sauce and a pita bread. He got it without sauce. He's like me. He's not a sauce guy. What do we think?
It's good. I've had it before. It's just like a breakfast taco thing on, what is this, like naan bread or pita bread or something like that. So very filling.
Outside the Droid Depot, we're going to go in and get one of my favorite souvenirs. I've had one before.
We both have one.
Yeah, we both have one. It rubbed off
The barcode.
But
Yeah.
here in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, at the Droid Depot, you can buy it's called a Spira. It's a metal gift card that's rechargeable, that's very Star Wars.
So cool.
So the cost of this souvenir, it's $5 for the gift card medallion itself, but then you're required to put $100 on it. So it still functions as a regular Disney gift card.
And that
you can use it anywhere.
is yours to spend.
You can use it anywhere. So, but it's a $105 outlay in cash, but then you have $100 on your gift card. You can recharge it on the Disney Gift Cards app or website. We use it all the time. You can use it anywhere that Disney gift cards are accepted. Lego store, everywhere.
Yeah, it's so cool.
I said the Lego store for a reason.
When it's funny to watch people's reactions when we pull it out to use it as payment, because they're like, what is that fancy schmear?
Greetings from the Millennium Falcon. We are getting ready to go into Oga's because it's not new really, but it's new to us. We haven't been since they've changed up the menu. They've got a few new cocktails, some more food options. So we're just waiting for them to call our number into Oga's Cantina. But who doesn't use any excuse to get a good selfie with the Millennium Falcon? Not to get some blue and green milk, but then our friend that was with us, Justin, suggested that we go over to Kat Sokka's Kettle, that's hard to say, and get the spiked cold brew.
Yeah, I'm already halfway done with it, but it's cold brew, chocolate liqueur, sweet cream cheese, and then they put chocolate puffs. So it's like Cocoa Puffs on the top. So good. It's delicious.
Looks very refreshing.
I mean, I usually like any kind of coffee-based drink, whether it's an espresso martini or something like that. So this was right up my alley, and just enough sweetness, but not like too sweet. I don't know. Now that I know about it, I'm gonna be getting it all the time. So definitely do it.
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah.
Can't talk Star Wars unless you talk merch. Let's go and see what they've got.